I'm going to be doing a tutorial and a walkthrough. So if you guys have any like private business stuff that comes up or name dropping, try to keep it to a minimum. We want to reuse this recording later. And I was looking back at the past things that we were doing. You know, just be mindful about what you're sharing. Need be, I can always pause it. And if you need me to pause it for some business feedback or something, you just let me know, okay? So this week, I want to cover 2 incredible new tools that just dropped. One is from our friends over at Google. They just launched a app. It's actually an upgrade to their existing project called Stitch. It is an AI designer specifically for apps and websites. And it just launched, was upgraded rather, yesterday. And so I wanted to put that on your radar. Chloe, I know you are making a website. Harrison, I know you're really deep into fintech. And then Cece? Cece's cool? Is that cool? Yeah, okay. Cece is also going through the process of building out some funnels and launching. So we're going to start there. And then I'm going to show you guys the Anthropic Claude open, basically Claude's response to OpenClaw, which is an always-on agent that can browse the internet and do anything you want at any point in time. Does that sound good? Okay. And by the way, CC, I know you just joined. Just like, if we move fast, it's okay. You're gonna kind of get used to it, okay? And you will get up to speed. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, and let me just do this real quick, okay? And I'm gonna show you guys this first tool. Do you see my screen? Okay. I'm gonna find it. Okay. So the name of this incredible tool is called Stitch. Okay. So the URL, if you guys want to check it out while I do it, I'm going to put it into the chat, is stitch.withgoogle.com. Okay, I'm going to throw this in the chat here. By the way, for those who just joined, there is a button that you can click to open the chat for the classroom. If you scroll to the left and click the little voice bubble on top of Classroom, it's going to open up a chat on the right. I normally put all the messages into the chat on the right and into campus chat just so you guys can see them, but that's where you can find it, okay? So basically, this is the tool, and this has actually been around for quite a long time, but our friends over at Google recently did a massive upgrade that has made this thing 1,000 times better, okay? So what you can do is if you log in, you're going to notice that has a little prompt bot, okay? And what I want you to do is when you are using it, I'll just zoom in a bit. It's kind of, it's not letting me zoom in. It's not letting me zoom in. That's a, you can't see my screen? Okay. I will share my screen. That was a mess up. Can you see my screen now? Yeah. I love that you guys just stuck with it, by the way, and nobody corrected me. That means the presentation is going well. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
It said watch screen.
Yeah, you gotta click into it. Yeah. So now what you can do is see my screen. Okay. So here, I'm gonna go back to the beginning. So when you go to stitch.withgoogle.com, there you go. You can click in. And what it's going to do is going to give you a little prompt box, okay? Now, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to make the model. So you can, over here on the right side, you can choose which model. It's very similar to Claude. It's very similar to ChatGPT. And what I want you to do is switch it from 3 Flash to 3.1 Pro, okay?
I'm still getting screen failed to start.
No, are you in the Discord app on your computer or are you on the web?
On my computer.
On your computer.
On the web, yeah.
Okay, so can you download the Discord app natively to your computer, please? That might fix it. Another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hack it. Watch this. I found a hack. You see my screen? But it's not me, it's my screen. Hello. So you can see that one. Okay, so why don't you try that one? I'll do both. Okay, so you can choose. Okay, so if you make that big, you can see it. And
Yeah, I see.
so yeah, what I'm going to do is on the right side, I'm going to choose 3.1, and then Celia, don't worry, you're going to learn how to do this. What I'm going to do is say, go to lightschool.com, go grab all of my branding, and build me a interactive, I don't know, sacred geometry inspired, highly beautifully light themed design page for my AI program. Okay? And so what it's going to do is that it's going to go grab that branding from my actual website, and then it's going to begin designing it inside of a canvas that we can actually go back and update later. Okay? So you can use this for not only websites, you could prompt it for Instagram posts, you can prompt it for other things too, but it is specifically designed for apps and for websites. So if you have an app that you're building or a website that you're designing, this is the latest and greatest tool that Google just came out with. And I also want to point out another really cool, I'm going to turn on my new tool here. You guys are going to like this one, okay? Watch this. Whoa! I can draw arrows now. So if you go down here to this little dude here, it's a really useful little feature that if you wanted to generate multiple versions, right, you can just turn that on and it will actually generate you 3 different variations. You can do 5 or 6. And so if you're at the point where you're designing something, you can actually have it generate you multiple variations. And another really useful tool is that you can actually also, if you choose to, you can also add a design system. And so there's a couple ways to do this. The first is just going into the right side, choosing your colors, choosing your color palette, choosing your fonts, or you can actually upload a text file. So if you already have designed something with AI, like Chloe, I know that you have your app that's running and like you have a design system. If you have a very in-depth design system guide, you can just pop it into here, and the websites and apps that it will generate will be very, very close to the ones that you are creating. Now, a couple things about this tool. One is it's going to take a long time to run, and there's a couple reasons for that. One, it's a much more advanced and in-depth design tool. And two, because this just came out yesterday, there's a lot of people experimenting with it right now. So just kind of keep that in mind, be patient. And I want you, if you are like redesigning your website or trying to get ideas for a funnel you're building, I want you to go ahead and go test this tool. Google just updated it yesterday, and it's worth visiting. I'm going to let it run, and then we'll come back to it later. So I'll pause there for any questions about Stitch before we move forward. Any Yeah, go ahead.
So workflow would be you design your app there,
Mhm.
and then
Exactly. So that would be the recommended flow. Now there are further integrations that they are already building out, and actually Google. I'm not going to show you it today, but they have their own front end design agent. It's called Google Gemini 3.1. Guys, it is so amazing. It's the craziest front end designer because it uses like interactive SVGs, which is like a standard vector graphic, in case you didn't know. But basically, it's really good at manipulating and creating really cool and artistic front ends. I'm not bringing that tool in today, but we can teach it later on down the line. So the workflow I'd recommend with Claude Code would be get the design right? And then I would just screenshot it, throw it into Claude. And another thing I would do, I just haven't had the time to do this yet because this literally launched. I saw the tweet last night at 8 p.m. There's probably a way to connect these tools, and so I would just go into Claude Plan mode, right? Tell it you're using Google Stitch and see if there's a way to connect it. There actually might be. I just haven't I haven't played with it enough. It's a good question though. But for now, I would use screenshots. Yeah. Screenshots are really good. Also, when it comes to designing with AI, another thing to kind of keep in mind is that you can always ask the AI to describe the design of anything. Okay, so let me explain that. Right. So let's pretend that you had a Pinterest board that you collected, and a lot of people use this for visioning exercises. Right. You can actually go grab a screenshot of the Pinterest board, throw it to the AI, and have it create a design file that captures that energy and that vibe. Okay, so everything that the AI designs comes down to how well can you describe exactly what I want? What are the colors? What are the rules? How much spacing should there be between different elements? Like if you think about the design of anything, everything comes down to rules and boundaries. And so if you can create just like a single file that really, really beautifully describes the exact vibe you're going for, right? Any AI that you use, doesn't matter what it is, if you're using it for Instagram posts, LinkedIn posts, website, app, whatever, it's going to be able to replicate that inside the system. So sometimes the best starting point is to take something that is exactly to your specifications, drop it into the AI, and have the AI describe in depth what those design rules are, and then you can carry that from project to project. Does that make sense? Okay, I'll pause again. Go ahead.
What do you mean? Describe, like, throw something you like first, or have it interview you and then design the spec?
Yo, that's a great question. Okay, the answer is yes. It's not an or. You can do it either way. So you can go into plan mode and have it actually interview you. You can throw a design reference. But at the end of, okay, zooming out, at the end of the day, all design is just rules, right? So what are the rules of the fonts, the sizing? What are the colors that we're using, right? So the end output, if you think about the flow, is always going to be an in-depth description of what you are designing. And so you can get there through an interview. You can get there through a video. You can get there with a Pinterest board. It's up to you to figure out what the best way is for you to get to that point. But I do like the interview process, but there's a lot of different doors to the same room. So it's a really good question. I would encourage you, if you don't have a design yet or a brand, maybe start with an interview. But if you already have one, you can just drop in the images or the library.
Question. So I wrote the anti-AI writing style and a document that kind of captures my writing style and the design rules. And in Claude Cowork, I used to be able to like completely have any output generate go through that no matter what. And then in Claude Code, I tried 3 times to fix the setup so that before it does any output for me for drafting emails, Slack messages, design, it doesn't push it through those 2 documents, .md documents.
Ah, okay. So let me ask you a question. Do you want?
It still does the stupid matches.
So do you? Okay. Actually, I have some things I can go into to show you precisely. So let me ask you a question. Do you want those rules to run every time you make an update?
Anytime it drafts anything on my behalf, yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is a little bit of a tangent, but we're gonna take it because my design system is still designing. Okay. So let me show you exactly how to make this work. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up my terminal, right? So I have Claude open, right? And when you have Claude running and you want to have something that happens regularly, okay, there is a feature built into Claude that is called hooks, okay? So what you can actually do is run a hook, okay? And you can just ask Claude to help you set it up, right? So let me just make a really simple one right now, okay? So I'm going to say to Claude, Hey Claude, can you create a hook that every time I write copy, it removes any and all M dashes? So every time you write any copy or I make an update to my project, it never ever uses M dashes and it runs every time. So if you just put in this sort of prompt, and don't worry, I'm going to drop it in the chat so you can actually have it. What Claude can do is that it can actually have what's known as a hook. And so every time you run a prompt, it will run every time while you are inside of the terminal. Does that make sense? And so this is called a hook. And so if you have, I just put the prompt into chat. I'll put it into the campus chat too. But if you're looking to consistently do something, hooks are a really good way to do it, right? And this is really useful for like all of the general rules that you want to happen inside of your build. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it. It's going to build it out, and then it will also guide you through how to actually set it up, which is pretty cool. Okay. So by the way, just on the subject of hooks, okay, hooks are very good for copywriting, but another way that I like to use Claude hooks is, let's pretend you are building a website, right? And with website comes functionality, right? You can also have a hook that runs every time you make an update to make sure nothing breaks, right? Make sure that the emails still send. Make sure that the person can still log in. You can use them however you want, but basically a hook is an element that runs every time you prompt and push enter, and it runs at the end of it just to make sure it's following certain rules. Does that answer your question? Cool. All right. So I'm gonna. So Google Stitch is still stitching. Okay. So I'm gonna let that run and hope that it doesn't hang. And by the way, while my design is running, I would love it if you guys would actually open up Google Stitch and just try designing something yourself. This is supposed to be hands-on. Again, this tool just came out yesterday. So I would love it if you guys just go in there, run Stitch, try to make something with it, and try it out. Right? This is one of those experimental features that is worth testing. I'll pause there for any more questions on Stitch.
Sorry.
Go. Sorry, Kirby, go.
Is this tool supposed to be design-wise like more intelligent, better than Claude? Because Claude, like I've been building an app on the website,
Yeah.
and it's doing a pretty good job. So now if I go into Stitch, what should like the key difference be?
Okay, so funny enough, I knew I would get this question because I had the same question for myself. It's funny how the universe does this. Okay, so zooming out, all right, AI. What's actually happened is that I want you to imagine we just discovered a new continent on the planet. And on that continent, there are 1 billion super intelligent beings. Okay? And we are sending boats using these agents to bring them back to land. And by the way, most of these beings, they work for basically for free. And now that they have landed, we are discovering who is the best at what, right? Because now they're integrated into society, they're being trained by us. And so every week, there's going to be new unlocks and potential depending on which super intelligent being is in the right place at the right time, okay? So you absolutely, yes, Claude Code is an incredible designer. If you're comfortable within that tool, you should absolutely stick with it. I am just putting this tool on your roadmap, right? If you're building a fresh project, because I am deeply embedded in nerd Twitter and I follow a lot of front-end designers and a lot of people are very impressed in terms of what Google and Gemini and Stitch are capable of doing. So what I'm not saying is drop Claude Code, go over to this tool. What I'm saying is, hey, if you need to build a landing page, if you need to build a new brand, if you need to build a design system, this is something that's worth watching. So I'm not suggesting you go swap things out and this is the new designer, but depending on the project you are working on, that might actually make the most sense. It's more so just to keep you in the loop and give you this tool and just make sure it's on your radar, okay? So if you're getting success with Claude Code, with the setup that you're running, keep on doing it, period, right? And this is the weird part about AI. It's moving so fast, I'm just kind of giving you the best tools. But yeah, if you're having success, keep on rolling with it. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Great. Yay. Harrison?
I was going to ask remind me which mode is best to use, because I've already started now, but I've done it in Flash.
Oh, so when it comes to Gemini, okay, another zoom out. Tech companies suck at naming models, so it's always confusing. Okay, so Flash 3.0 Gemini, it's going to move much faster. It'll get your results quicker. But the more advanced, the more in-depth model is Gemini 3.1. And so if you are building out something a bit more serious, I recommend turning on 3.1. It's like kind of like the Opus. Like for those who don't know, Opus 4.6 is currently Claude's best model, right? Gemini 3.1 is the equivalent for Google. Okay, so that is the highest model. Now, depending on the plan you have, maybe it's not inside of your settings. Okay, but the general rule of thumb is if you have the ability to use the latest model and you have the money to spend on it, then use the latest model. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, we should also set this frame for the rest of, well, it seems like it's been a couple of years now, so I hope it isn't like this forever. These AI companies suck at naming. Nobody has figured out how to name models with the number system and the naming system, so it's always going to be a bit confusing. And it feels like a general rule of thumb is when you are using these tools is to first look at what model you're using, okay? Generally speaking, the higher the number, the better the performance. Not always the case. I'm not gonna go into all the nuances, but it's gonna happen pretty frequently that we run into this exact issue, okay? Maria, I know you just jumped in, so here's Stitch, go play with it. Go design something, okay. Any other questions on Stitch? Or design, I guess design. Go ahead.
Yeah, so if I already have a library built out in Kajabi and I would love to create my own tab, can I get it to grab the resources that we already have in there, the thumbnails, the MP3 files, MP4 files, and just kind of integrate it into a new system?
Great question. So, ironically enough, I have an open Twitter thread with the CEO of Kajabi because I literally did this. And so basically what I did, and I actually already showed you that resource inside of the library. It's using an app called Playwright. And so, raise your hand if you guys know what Playwright is. Raise your hand. Okay, we have two. Okay, I'm gonna kind of do a little review of this tool. Okay, so if you guys can go ahead and look at my screen. Okay. Oh, I actually think my Kajabi is still live. So maybe this will be a real hands-on. Okay. So I'm just gonna exit real quick. So if you guys ever want to exit Claude, you just do /exit. Okay. I'll do clear. Okay. So basically, what do I want to do here? How do I want to do this? I'll just go up. Okay. I'm gonna make a directory. Don't need to worry about this. Playwright demo. I'm going to go into that directory. Don't worry, Claude can do all this for you. I'm going to start Claude. And CC, can you tell me the name of your website? Or drop it into the chat? I can't hear you. You're muted. I want to see how much of your website I can hack. So just send me a link.
Let me see, it's like private membership instead of Kajabi.
Just send me any link, even if it's the homepage, and let's see what we can do with it, okay? So
Oh, I can.
yeah, just pop into the chat.
Just pop in here.
All right. But basically, what Claude can do is using this tool called Playwright, which is known as an agentic browser. It can open up the browser and then it can go through a process to extract any materials that it has available to it. And so maybe, do you have a link by chance?
I'm grabbing it.
Cool. And obviously this can be a security nightmare if you are somebody who has an app or has a platform. So you kind of got to keep this in mind. But one of the cool things is the answer is yes, and it can do that. And the way it does it is through a plugin called Playwright that will open an agentic browser and begin downloading as much stuff as it possibly can. Okay. So I'll just use like a different link. I don't know. Let's go to like Tony Robbins.
I'm dropping it now.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. It's okay.
Where do I drop it?
So there should be you can do it in campus chat or on the right, and let's see what it can do. Okay.
Very good.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So I'm going to grab that link. Let's just make sure we can open it. Okay. So I don't have a login. This is login protected. So I won't be able to access anything from here directly. So let's use like a different, we're going to use a different example. Okay. So let's just suppose you wanted to grab all the images from this page. Okay. Go.tonyrobbins.com. So what I can do is I can actually go into Claude. I'm going to do /exit. That's how you exit Claude. And then I'm going to do Claude -- dangerously skip permissions because we're doing something that's going to be pretty permission intensive. So I'm going to just say, here we go. All right. I'm gonna teach you guys. You guys remember the voice skill? Wait, hold on. Excuse me. All right. We're just gonna do this. Thank you for the patience. So if you do /voice, you can turn it on. Okay. So I'm gonna say, oops, disabled, on. All right. So go to the website that I drop in, and what I want you to do is grab all of the images, all of the font files, all of the colors, all of the links, and put them inside of the appropriate files and folders inside of this project. And here is the URL. Okay, so just put it in. And now we're going to go hack Tony Robbins' website. Okay, so what the AI is going to do, because it is already connected to the internet, it's going to try to just go to the website, go fetch as many assets as it can. And what I'm hoping is going to happen, I mean, I didn't prompt it to do so, is that it also could activate an agent that actually opens up an agentic browser to go do it on my behalf. It looks like it's not using the browser to do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, open up Playwright and do it visually so I can see what you are doing. Okay? And so it looks like these assets are pretty, you can basically get to them, but there is another way, and there you go. So it's grabbing the styles, you see that there. CSS is your style sheet, it's grabbing the images, it's grabbing pretty much anything that's available. And so the short answer is yes. And if you wanted to do that for Kajabi, all you would have to do is actually open up the browser to do it. So I'll just say, open up Playwright in the browser so I can log in. This is a tutorial that we have inside, for those who haven't set this up. We actually have a tutorial that's inside of the portal that you can actually go access that has a step-by-step instruction on how to set this up. So if you search Playwright, browse the web, this is it. So this is the step-by-step instructions on how to get this installed on your computer. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the terminal. Okay. And it's actually going to go ahead and open up an agentic browser. There you go. See, I'm not doing it. Oh, it's not found. I don't know why it's not found anymore. But like, let's pretend, CC, that you wanted to do this for your Kajabi, okay? So what you would do is you would go to your Kajabi, and what you could do is log in. And then once it is logged in, it can begin the process of downloading all of your stuff. It's just one potential use case of this thing. I use agentic browsers when things don't have a proper API. Like there's no way for bots to plug in appropriately. And so this tool, because the AI can power it, can be a really good way to get assets from places where it takes a lot of manual labor. Does that make sense? I'll pause there for questions.
What do I need to do with? Oh no, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, sorry. I was just wondering, this has to do with Playwright, or no? This is just showing what Claude is capable of doing through structure.
So the question was, how do I download a bunch of assets from my Kajabi or from somewhere that maybe we don't have access to? And the answer is to use Playwright through this tutorial that you guys have access to in Light School. And if you guys set this up, it can go to the website and kind of get any assets that you want. It's pretty cool.
Okay, so you have to set up Playwright first before you ask this prompt.
That's my recommendation, yes. Because, and the real skill zooming out is not to go hack a bunch of websites. It's basically, the real skill is the fact that you now have given your agent the ability to use a browser. Okay? Now, it does have access to the internet, as is. Like, it can go and make requests to a website. It can go make requests to a server. But when it can actually navigate the internet, it has more capabilities that might not be available. And it basically enables the AI to explore the internet as a human would. Does that make sense? Yeah. Cool. Any other questions about what I just showed you?
You configure the one pass CLI so it will bypass the auth and the 2FA authentication and like access all the time.
Okay, so the question is, do I configure the one password command line interface, the authentication tool, into my terminal in order to bypass things? Do I understand that right?
Yeah, to avoid reprompting of like re-authentication when it browses things to log in.
Okay, who's asking the question? Oh, there you are. Okay, I need to like make it so you guys have your real names in here, so I can just see, because it says like E dot dot dot. Okay, okay. So basically, the question for those who might not understand it is, do you want to give your AI access to all of your passwords and access to everything that you've ever been able to log in ever? Okay. It's a bit of a risk. And by a bit of a risk, I mean it's a huge risk. You can do it. So there are ways to give your agents login passwords to everything on the internet, to go to the internet, to log in and do anything that it wants using the tools I just showed you. I have to just tell you, be very mindful of what you give the AI's access to. Be very mindful. If you give it your entire, by the way, my 1Password has like, 1Password is a place, for those who don't know, for storing login information, like email, password. I have about 3,000 logins in my 1Password. I've been using it literally since they launched. I have some funny stories about that, but I'm not going to go into it. Be very mindful about what you let it get access to. To start out, I'd recommend let it open up Playwright, the agentic browser, log into the things that it needs to log into, and then let it run. And then I would, and once Playwright closes, I can't remember if it saves the logins. It might do, but I'd recommend doing it one by one versus giving it full 1Password access. Just because if it has everything, it will use everything to accomplish the goal. Does that make sense?
So yeah, the reason I did a chat a bit and like just 10 seconds. I'm working on a hotel turnaround.
Yeah.
There's 120 people, and I figured the fastest way to test all the assumption and collect the data is collect everything from the source, from like accounting system and all the tools as I can.
Yeah.
But then I migrated everybody on OnePass, got them to export everything in there. And now I want to get the CLI access and go and test the assumptions on the things they think they're giving me nonsense identically via the...
Let me ask you a couple of questions. So I'm going to rephrase the question as well. Okay. So
and after that, the intention is to stop the...
yeah.
Do it once, then take away.
Okay. So I'm going to answer this question, and then we're going to go into the other lesson for today, by the way. Okay. Before you give access to all of those data, do you own all of the data that you are giving access to? That's my first question.
The company does. Yeah, I do.
Okay, you do. So you can use it any way that you want? Okay, then you're probably good. Okay, so...
Although I have to write a set of criteria for agents to discern, is that a work tool or is that a personal like? So because they're using all their computers and all of their workspace emails for both personal, and I already noticed that. So my intention was to simply like clarify that, and if anything that smells like the AI isn't confident that it's work.
Yep. Okay, so if you own all the data and you have freedom to use it how you wish, and you have freedom to use the logins, and there's no problem with that, then you absolutely can do it. I still recommend being very deliberate with what logins you give it. I wouldn't just drop in my 1Password ever and give it the AI access to all my logins. I would just, maybe the better solution is to create, in 1Password, there's this thing called Vault. Create a vault that only the AI has access to. Also, remember, if you have that access, and because of how fast the things move, right? If this is production data, be very mindful, because it will use the tools, it will use the browser to potentially make changes in order to accomplish the goal. Okay, so for example, let's suppose you're like, I don't know, you're like, I want to understand my tax liability for 2025, for example, right? It might go into the tool and it might go start updating tables, right? Updating production data. My recommendation is, so the answer is yes, it can do it. I recommend doing it bit by bit. And also with Playwright specifically, that agentic browser, you can actually watch it do the thing. Okay, so you can actually ask it when you install Playwright to open up the browser. You can watch it go through the process, and just like in technology, we call it spot checking. Spot check is not doing anything crazy, okay, and just move slowly with it. But I like the way that you're thinking. I just want to be clear, like if you're going to give that much power, just be ready for some shit to go wrong. Okay, so bit by bit. Cool idea. All right, so I'm going to move in. We're going to do more questions and coaching at the end. Don't worry. But I want to show you guys a tool that just came out. And so you guys, raise your hand if you're familiar with OpenClaw. Anyone? Okay. Raise your hand if you've set up an OpenClaw. Lucy, I can't see your hand, but I can feel it energetically. Okay.
I tried the last time, but it didn't work.
Okay, so I'm just gonna fill in some gaps for the people who weren't here that week. All right. So basically, OpenClaw is a new type of operating system for the internet. Okay? So OpenClaw can do everything that a human, a computer, a server in a web browser and somebody who has access to a messaging app can do, all on its own, and it's powered by AI. Okay? That's the short version of it. And I think it was actually a week ago today, we went through the process of setting up our own open clause inside of this program. And you guys felt it, and trust me, nobody felt it more than me. It was a nightmare. Okay? And the reason is the tools are open source, meaning that they can they're maintained by thousands of people. So it's not built by one individual company. There's a lot of security problems. Also, I know Lucy, who is just in here. I think she dropped out, but that's okay. She set up her OpenClaw, and then she had it running. And the OpenClaw, she asked it to create an email sequence in ConvertKit, and it ended up spending like $100 to do so because it kept on just retrying to use the browser to create her email sequence. So zooming out, there's a cost problem, there's a security problem, there's a setup problem, and there is a there's just a big knowledge gap because this technology was invented and launched roughly at the end of January. So today it's March 19th, right? So it's all very new technology. So basically what's happening is that everyone's trying to figure out the best way to integrate this incredible power, okay? Now, last week, I know we went through the process of setting up our Hostinger open clause. Thank you for those who stuck with it, okay? By the way, you can still set it up, you can still play with it. I'm not gonna discourage you from doing so. But with that said, our friends over at Anthropic, remember I said that the guys who own Claude, they're like our favorite people in the world because they're so responsive to what users want. They just launched their own version of this yesterday. So guess what? All of the power that we were trying to unlock for you guys last week with all those security problems and stuff, they launched a brand new feature. I think it was in the last 36 hours that kind of does all of it. And so for those of you who have set up your Hostinger, like your open clause, you can continue working with it. But you are also welcome to shut that off because a lot of the things that you can do, I'm going to show you how to do it today. And it is included inside of your Claude subscription for $20 a month. They've removed all the complexity. I'll pause there.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Do I need to stop? Because I remember we put in payment details and we added it to credits and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there anything I need to stop or like?
Yep.
Because I can't remember even where that was, so I just want to make sure that I'm not like now being built and have everything set up on the side.
So I'll tell you what, at the after I show you this tool, I'm going to go through my own process of shutting down my open clause, and you can do it with me. How does that sound? Okay, cool. Yeah, because taking a step back as well. What I'm showing you today did not exist a day and a half ago. So forgive me. I was trying to get you guys the new tech. But when things are moving this fast, we're going to experiment. We're going to try some new stuff. Okay. So without further ado, I would love to introduce you to shares your screen. Have a look at my screen. Did it? Drum roll, please. Welcome to Dispatch. Yay. Okay. So Dispatch is a new feature that was launched by Anthropic within the last 48 hours. And the way that you access it is if you open up your Claude desktop app. CC, you might have to install this, by the way. I fear I didn't put that in the sign up description. Claude for Mac. I'm just going to pop you a link, okay? You're going to want to download and install this on your computer, okay? I'm going to update the setup so you don't have to do this again. Put it in the chat, in the campus chat. Okay. So if you go into your Claude app on your desktop, and if you go into Cowork, you're going to notice a new button on the left side. and it's called Dispatch. Does everybody see the word dispatch when they open up Cowork? Just shout it out if you do not.
No, I don't.
You don't see it? Okay.
No, and we only installed this 2 days ago in the work.
Okay, so you might, and are you under Cowork?
Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
so
It says get started if I click on Cowork.
so yeah, go ahead and if you haven't already, click Get Started, and just go through that process, and then we might have to update the app. Let me just see how to.
An input.
Sorry.
Just open for me because I have an input. It, like in the beginning, it didn't show dispatch on the sign, and then it came up kind of gray, and then it said you need to restart the app with the latest version in order to download it, which I just did, and then it showed up in Cowork on the sign.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is brand spanking new and it just launched. So basically, what you need to do is you need to update the app. Okay, the foolproof way to do that is to go to claude.com/download, and then you can download the app again, and then log in again, and that way you definitely know you have the latest version. Okay, now when it comes to any of these new features, there's a lot of things that happen. Okay, so you might not have it because maybe it hasn't rolled out in your country. You might not have it yet because it hasn't. There might be a lot of different reasons, but the first thing I want you to do is just make sure you download the latest version, install it on your computer, and see if it shows up. For some of us, it might be later. Okay, so once you have this set up, Dispatch, you can go ahead and turn it on, and you'll notice here in the middle. Wait, let me just see if this works. Oh, thank God. Okay, you're gonna notice this button here. That's Keep Awake. Everybody see that? And so one thing to keep in mind with Dispatch is that it only works as long as your computer is on and running. Okay? So instead of us like launching a server, as long as our computer is open and it is awake, Dispatch can continue running even when we are away from our computers. Okay? I'll pause there. Everybody into something that looks like this yet? Running into any issues?
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
And to get around this, there are two solutions, right? Mac Mini and then running your own server where you rent a machine. Which one do you recommend? Maybe you have a separate tangent on it?
Yeah, so the question is, do we want to use Dispatch or OpenClaw on a separate computer, or do you want to use it locally on your own computer? Now, OpenClaw, the open source version of this, I do recommend running it on a separate server. The reason being that it's a security nightmare. Once OpenClaw is inside of your computer, it can have access to all of your files and anything on your device, which is why right now it's very popular for you to go out, buy like a Mac Mini. That's the current meme. Everyone's like, Mac Mini, OpenClaw, right? And so it can be wise to run OpenClaw. I'm not talking about Dispatch. That's separate, okay? To run OpenClaw on a separate computer, and only because of security concerns, okay? Now, luckily, with Dispatch, Claude has already thought through all of those security concerns. Anthropic, the company behind Claude, is built for enterprise. And so they've baked in a lot of those security features into Dispatch. So as a starting point, it's a very good starting point for us to begin playing with what an always-on agent can do. So I recommend, and by the way, we have some feedback now because I got everyone to launch their own OpenClaws last week. I recommend we start in Dispatch. And so I'm going to just kind of show you guys like what this thing can do and sort of how to use it, okay? So the first thing you want to do is once you open up Dispatch, again, it's not under chat, it's under cowork. You open it up, make sure your computer is set to stay awake, okay? And what you can also do is, now that it is awake, I'm gonna turn on my phone mirroring. Hold on. You'll also notice that it is actually available. Oh, come on, baby. You can do it. You can do it. Hold on. All right. What you can actually do is you can now dispatch from your local device, which is pretty cool if I could show it to you. And so inside of your actual device, if you go into Claude and then you open it up, you're actually going to see, I'm just going to show you using my camera so you guys can see it properly. Hold on. All right. So if you open up the iOS app for Claude on your phone, you're actually going to see a new thing called Dispatch. You guys see that on my screen? And if you click into Dispatch, as long as your computer's running, come on. See that? You can actually use Dispatch from your device, and it is fully plugged into everything you have inside of Claude, including your connectors, and including if you have an open terminal running, Claude Code, it has access to that too. So you're basically getting all of the incredible benefits of OpenClaw, but you have all of the security of Anthropic and all the mindfulness that they have around creating it, okay? So let me just show you some of the things that it can do. So obviously I have Claude Code that's running inside of my terminal, right? So I can just say to this tool, I want you to go to tonyrobbins.com and continue pulling from that website using the project that's open in Claude Code, and just continue the project. So from this one place, it can go and combine with Claude Code that's running on your computer already, and you can continue working on the project. The other cool thing about Dispatch is that it has something where you can actually schedule certain tasks to be done, okay? So basically, another cool feature is that if you want to, you can have it actually schedule tasks. So for example, I had it schedule a task that pulls the latest AI news every single day. And so this ran at 9 a.m. And so what it can do is that I can put tasks to be scheduled, and it can just do it. And so one of the things that I've been doing is just making it to, I mean, again, this came out today for AI breaking news. I also could, I don't know, send you guys encouraging emails every day through my website. But basically, this is like a computer on top of Claude Code. And as long as your computer stays awake, you can continue using it from anywhere. It can tap into your whole terminal, and it also can go ahead and use your browser, right, to go do anything that you want it to do. Again, it's new tech, so I could go into 1,000 different use cases right now, but I will just pause there for questions.
A question,
Yeah.
because I still can't see it, and I've updated the app on my desktop.
Mhm.
And then I asked Claude, and it told me that basically Max plans got access from the 17th of March. And
Okay.
I have a pro plan, so I'm gonna get it later.
Oh.
Did I do something wrong when I was signing up to Claude the other day?
No, you did not. So, okay. So when it comes to all the new features that are coming through Claude, typically the people who are paying the $90 a month, which is for the Macs, they get the features first. And so you're still paying 20 a month. Vanessa, I'll be straight with you with the stuff that you're doing already. By the way, just so you guys know, Vanessa just launched a beautiful new website using Claude in less than a day. Actionism.org. Vanessa, if you want to share the link, please pop in the chat. If you want to be on the bleeding edge, upgrade to the $90 a month plan and you should get immediate access.
Yeah, but at this point, I hardly understand what I did, and now I want to fix the design of it.
Mm-hmm.
This whole new dispatch thing is just another layer on my brain that's already blown away by what I've done in 48 hours.
Yep.
It might take eternity to try and understand, because I'm still, finishing everything, preparing for the course.
Yep.
So it's like piano. But so maybe for now I'll wait, and I'm still trying to figure out what the hell I did, honestly.
Yeah, okay. So Vanessa brings up a couple good points. One is she's about, 36 hours into your journey with this stuff? A lot of new context. By the way, everyone raise your hand if you felt like you had big context shift and you need to integrate some stuff since you've been in here. Raise your hand. Yeah, okay, yeah. We all feel that way. So I recommend going at your own pace. My job is to separate signal from noise, keep you guys in the loop, and keep you on the bleeding edge. Now, it's completely up to you if you want to pay for the upgraded plan. I can't tell you how to spend your money, right? With that said, this new feature, it's just another part of the stack, and there's going to be cool things that are going to be unlocked through it. So it's up to you if you want to embrace it. It's your own journey, right? You only do what you feel comfortable with, period, in life and in this program, okay? So you don't have to do it, but I just want to put that on your radar that it exists. If you have it schedule tasks for you, it can be very useful for things that you repeat every day. And if you have something that you're building out, it can also, if you have the terminal open and your computer is in that always on mode, you can continue doing things on top of that through an AI agent. And the capabilities, the use cases are becoming more obvious day by day. And so I just want to put it on your radar, and I just want to see how you guys use it because it's really cool tech. Okay, I'll pause there again.
So if we still want to move our laptop and travel, how do we do it if we don't want to buy a Mac Mini?
Okay, so this is the beautiful part of, because Dispatch is run by Claude, you can just use your computer. Okay? Now, I'm going to take a step back here. This whole meme about people buying Mac Minis to run OpenClaw is completely unnecessary. Let me be clear. For $5 a month server, you can run OpenClaw to its fullest potential. It's more of like an Instagram meme where people are like, I'm going to use a Mac Mini to go do this. Yeah.
But I mean, using Claude's new feature, if we still close our Mac, it won't work, will it?
Exactly, yes.
So how do we get around that?
So yes, you can buy a Mac Mini, and then if you wanted to take the more advanced approach, there are ways to provision a server to launch an OpenClaw. We walked through it last week. I'm just going to let you know it's kind of a huge pain in the ass, but you can totally make a OpenClaw on a server. With that said,
Not an OpenClaw, Claude's new feature.
oh,
I'm not interested in using it.
okay, cool. Yeah, you gotta leave your computer open, or get another computer. That's the deal.
Why can't you rent out the hardware from the companies that let you set up the server and switch?
Here's what I'm gonna guess. They're gonna launch a feature probably in a couple weeks that you can run it without your computer being open. But for now, that's the way that this works, and it has all the same capabilities as an OpenClaw, but with none of the security concerns, which I really like. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. But if you wanted to buy a Mac Mini, leave it on. That is an option. Oh, by the way, if you do that, I'm going to share my screen again. There's a specific command that you can run on your MacBook. I'm going to share my screen. So if you want to make sure your computer always stays on, all you have to do, this is my terminal. By the way, I'm not in Claude. I'm in my terminal. All you do is you have to type in caffeinate. Oops. Calf. I think it was caffeinate. Am I not spelling this right? Hold on. Caffeinate. Oh, I'm not spelling it right. Okay. So all you have to do is type in caffeinate to your MacBook. Nothing pops up. And guess what? Now your MacBook will never go to sleep. So as long as the hood is open, your computer will continue running at any time. And so this is also, obviously, like there is a button inside of Claude that says like always keep my computer awake and alive. But if you wanted just to make sure that the computer never goes to sleep, you can just run caffeinate, and it will never go to sleep. You can just put this in terminal.
That's on the terminal.
Yep, not in Claude. Yeah. So you just open up another terminal, run caffeinate, and then you're pretty much guaranteed, unless it runs out of power or you close the top of the computer, it's never going to go to sleep. Okay.
Couple questions on dispatch.
Mm-hmm.
How is it like? Why would I use that over Claude Terminal? And also, does it take my tokens? Does it use the same amount? Does it use more or less from Claude, or how does that work?
Okay, good question. So in its current incarnation, the dispatch is using the same credits as you are using inside of Claude Code if you're logged in with the same account. Okay, so you don't have another feature of dispatch that makes it better than like things like OpenClaw is that it's pulling from the same tokens that you're already paying for. And so it is using those tokens. Now, Claude Code, it's an incredible coding agent, and it's the model and the fact that it's in terminal is designed to kind of be your software engineer. Let me see if I can come up with a better metaphor. Think of Claude Code as like the incredibly powerful super senior software engineer. All right. And think of like dispatch as more of like a, call it like a project owner. So is everyone familiar with the term project owner? Raise your hand if you're not. I'll kind of fill in the gaps. Okay. So Ed, you might not even know it, but you're a project owner. Okay. So project owners are the people who kind of oversee everything inside of a project. And they will go hop around and kind of do anything in their power to make sure the project continues. Okay? So dispatch as an agent can go to the internet, do tons of research, right? It can chat with Claude Code as long as your terminal is open and then tell it to do something. And it can direct Claude Code. All right? So when you run, if you say to dispatch, hey, dispatch, can you update the website and then make it so that, can you launch 5 new blog posts on my website and deploy it? Dispatch is actually going to go tell Claude Code, which is a separate agent, to go do that thing. So dispatch is more designed to go, it's much more broad, and it's a separate agent that's running. I'll pause there.
So does it make sense to then basically use dispatch as the main, and not terminal?
Yeah, so in order for dispatch to use Claude Code, you have to have a terminal open on your computer and Claude Code running, and then dispatch can order it to do things. Okay? And so if terminal is not open and running, and by the way, just so you know, I haven't This came out yesterday, so test it. But as far as I can tell, Dispatch can go manage your different coding agents that are running inside of your terminal, and it can do a lot more things that Claude Code wasn't really designed to do, if that makes sense. So you can think of it almost like that, like Dispatch is the project owner. It's the kind of there, it's there to talk to. It can schedule a task. It can like tell Claude Code, the developer in the terminal, to go do something, and it will go do it. But it's not a replacement for Claude Code. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. So for example, when I use Notion,
Mm-hmm.
like I've set up Notion between Claude and Notion. So now if I go to Dispatch and I would say, change this on my Notion board or add this or that, Dispatch would then go to Claude and tail it, or would Dispatch be able to do it itself?
So that's a great question. So if you have a request for Dispatch, it's going to use whatever tools it has available and integrations that are already inside of it to accomplish the goal. So it may or may not activate Claude Code. It may or may not activate Claude Code if you have an integration, right? It might use the connector that's connected into Claude, or it might take a route where it opens the browser, it goes to Notion, and it just updates the things. So it can do all of the above. And if you want it to take a specific path, you have to instruct it to do so. It's impossible to know if you give it a general instruction exactly what path it's going to take. But because it's so new, I would just encourage you to play around with it and see what it does and report back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because you also said that it needs a terminal open, couldn't it open a terminal itself?
I haven't tried it yet, but you want to try it? Like, I don't know. Like, should we try it? Okay, again, I personally might be the most experienced person with Dispatch because I've just been in it since it's launched, but I haven't tried everything. If you have a curiosity about it, try it. But what I will say is, I know it definitely works with Claude Code as long as the terminal's open and Claude is in it. I don't know, try it. Maybe it will do it. And another thing that I know it's really useful are scheduled tasks. So if you have like things that you're doing every day, you can schedule it. And then, I mean, there's a lot of things we do every day, right? For example, here's a couple of good ones that I've already set up. One is send me a message and tell me what meetings I have today. So I don't have to open the calendar. That can be a useful one. Another one is based on the goals you know for Light School, send me my top 3 priorities that I have to do today to accomplish my goals, right? And that one runs every morning. So these are just a couple of different things it can do, but it's almost like a manager for other advanced agents. And so all I want you guys to do is play around with it and please share in Discord what you guys are doing with it because there's just a lot of possibility. It's kind of like Dispatch is like a new operating system. Like we kind of, all right, zoom me out for a second. You had the age of the internet, right? The internet was like this massive HTML-based operating system. Then we had like iOS and app stores, right? Where we had like mobile operating systems. And it feels as though with the rise of Claudebot and these agentic tools, and now with Anthropic Dispatch, we've unlocked a new operating system. It's so new. This tool has been out for 36 hours, and the technology itself was invented and launched in about 7 weeks ago. And so I just wanted to put this on your radar because it's a very safe and easy to use way to begin playing with the technology. So start testing it and share what you guys are doing with it. And if you don't want to use it, that's fine. But just know it's cool and useful for stuff. Guys, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. So why don't we just take like 5 minutes? We'll come back at 5:20, and then we'll continue answering all the questions. Okay? Sound good? All right. One second.
I want to share something while Nico's out. I don't know, maybe it'll be helpful. But because I was playing with Coworker a bunch before and with Dispatch just a bit, the use case that actually gave the most value and benefit to me, because I prompted a bunch of like from the power users, what are the scheduled tasks and use cases that make the biggest difference. And the first unlock was a massive, well done morning briefing. Obviously, with like all the email access, Slack messages, and all the stuff connected to the project management tool. And then what they call a heartbeat. It would update every 2 hours and just see what happened. And then I taught it the confidence exposure framework. And now it pre-drafts and executes certain things, and anywhere, anytime that it wants to send a message on my behalf, it kind of pre-draft. And then I connect it to a Discord bot where it gives me this update with like, hey, these are the things that change, these are the things that need your attention. And then with like a couple of buttons, I can click approve, I can click change the context, and then I can, because the terminal interface was terrible at keeping track of a million threads. So the morning briefing and the heartbeat were the two, and then that connected to back into getting the tasks done. I don't know if it makes sense.
All right, let's go. Okay.
Wyatt, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying to Ed, thanks for sharing that. I'm sorry I didn't respond. I don't fully understand it, but it sounds interesting.
Sure, I can explain. I was saying, Nick, I did like one of the biggest use cases that actually save up time and freedom, and maybe you can explain it in simple terms because it gives so much benefit to me. I basically, on top of the morning brief, added the heartbeat that would pull context from all of the systems, tools, Slack messages, understand the context of the projects, and based on the confidence and exposure framework, pre-draft the messages, then throw it into my Discord via bot, and then tell me one thing at a time, like do A, B, C, approve, disapprove, change feedback, pull that back from the system, and then execute the task. And that is the thing that runs every 2 hours that allows me to like stay on top of the things. And if there's something critical, I'm now connected to Twilio and it calls me.
Hold, wait, that's fucking dope.
So I just, I had something hardcore happen in the family, and I'm like, I can't be a CEO of this company anymore. Like, I'm done. So I just gave it a plan, replaced myself, then really seeded through the use cases that make a big difference for what you call power users, and that was the thing.
Okay.
That really set up.
So let me explain this in fifth grade terms. So basically, it sounds like Ed's set up a monitoring system for all of his tools and messaging channels. And in the event that something needs his attention, made it so it actually calls him on the phone. You understand that, right? Dude, that's amazing. How the hell did you do that? Can you share that with us?
This is like, do everything without need for my permissions, dangerously skip. And then I spend just a bit of time of like researching what are the best actual use cases again and again and again. And then I gave permission to everything. Then I said, consider that I'm not telling you the truth. Test all the assumptions and all source data. Consider that I'm not. And then another thing I've learned, I listened to a podcast that the AI tool will always treat you really nicely if it knows it's talking to you. And then I reframed and said, there's another instruction I added, which I'm not quite sure, and kind of was
Yeah.
meaner.
So you can okay, first of all, the heartbeat idea is amazing. That's super smart. So like for
I can share the GitLab from the Discord. It's so much better interface than Terminal could ever be.
yeah, so I would like to see it first and foremost. And I think, well, I just think it's an interesting concept. Like a lot of us run businesses every day, right? So if you actually think about, if you think about your business like a heartbeat, right? Like for Light School, for example, right? We have people coming through websites through the ads. We have our WhatsApp group. We have our Discord server. We have sales coming in through Stripe. We have emails going back and forth with partners. If you actually were to zoom out and see it like a human heart, and then put the AI at the center to monitor all of that in real time, and then notify you when something needs attention, dude, it's an incredible use case. That did someone just clap? What the hell was that? How did you do that? Okay. It's okay. I mean, I've never seen it before. Yeah. Use the air horn mindfully. Okay, or no. Wait. That one sounds cool. Okay. So, I like the duck. The duck is. Okay, anyway, sorry. Wait, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah. We're talking about digital heartbeats. This is dope. Ed, genius idea. I think it's amazing. And even if, okay, let's try to bring this back to like what we have here. That would be, I mean, dude, that's just an amazing project, first and foremost. And also now that I'm thinking about it, if you wanted to set that up inside of Dispatch as a scheduled task, you totally could do that. Dude, that's sorry, you just.
I had it running on Claude like 10 days ago, 12 days ago.
Yeah.
And then with Claude Code, it was able to create bots via Discord where you can much quicker, like say on any tasks that you have, like your project, or there is a decision that you need to make. It tells you context quickly. I can send you a screenshot, and then it pre-drafts the response based on everything it knows, confidence level, and then it tells you approve, disapprove, or reply to thread what you want, and then it pulls from that bot data from Discord and executes the task for you, one individual at a time. And then in 2 hours, it heartbeats, pulls everything you just done again, and then it does that repeatedly. And then you essentially get to not inbox zero for your inbox, but inbox zero for your life, meaning you're not behind in everything.
Are you connecting to WhatsApp too?
Everything, absolutely everything. So everything you think of.
Perfect. Like
Telegram, absolutely everything, and add to your CRM pools, understanding from like who the people matter to me, who don't, and then I copy auto updates and mess it up.
Wow. Okay. Ed, are you going to be at Wheelhouse tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, come to the workshop and show me what you made. This is really cool. Do you want to? Okay, dude, you're blowing my mind because it makes sense because it's almost like you have an entity that you've created, right? I don't mean entity like in the dark sense. I mean like when you create digital technology, we are creating these entities, and like if you zoom out and look at it, you have all these inputs into different entities, and it sounds like you've almost created a nervous system for the things that you've set up that tell you when it needs attention. Do I understand that right?
Yeah, and I think we did it wrong, because I'll tell you what I got wrong, which I'm going to change next, is we all wear multiple hats in our lives. You're a friend, a husband.
Okay. This is super interesting. Please come to Wheelhouse tomorrow, and I want to see what you've created. And I mean, it's just a very interesting concept. It's like we have all this like messages coming in from all these different places. You have the WhatsApp, you have the email, you have your financial reports, you have your ads performance, you have the number of signups or something, you have like all this disparate information. It sounds like your AI, you've created like a capture system at the center that can filter it and then tell you immediately when something needs attention or intention, and you can ask about anything from that center place. Dude, that's incredible.
Did that too, where they did the like Mac Mini thing with OpenClaw, and they created its own Slack account, and they gave it access to Google Drives, so you could see like the whole corporate calendar and all the Slack conversations that were taking place and all the emails. The way that they talked about it kind of sounds like what it is saying.
Yeah, it's you know what's interesting is you say that, Wyatt. One of the best use cases I've seen for dispatch. I'm not going to name any names, but what is this? Please record your meeting with Ed tomorrow. LOL. Okay, Ed, I might just have you present it. Well, but first I want to understand it so that I can fill in the gaps as well, so we can explain it appropriately. One of the best use cases I've seen. There's a gentleman who owns an accounting firm, and they have about 40 accountants that are managing clients. Each of the accountants works with different clients, and so he set up Dispatch, plugged it into his company's email server, and he is notified when somebody doesn't respond to a client within 4 hours. So when he first started it, the response time might have been like 7 days because you can't monitor people's personal emails, right? Or that's never really been easy to do. But now he set it up so that if there is a client that's not being serviced, he is the owner of the company is notified immediately. And so, yeah, it's I think that's a really good use case. But I think Ed took it to like a whole other level, which is just like take all of this disparate data. Ed, by the way, your 1Password question now makes sense. Right? Like now I get why you asked that question.
It did grok research on what is the single most powerful use case with the technology available right now. And then like I then challenged another one, and then that was it. So it wasn't my idea. I just connected the dots.
Yeah, the thing is, it was your idea because you asked the question, you follow the thread, and then you let the technology get access to the things to make it for you, right? I think it's important to keep in mind that like okay, let's suppose you make a phone call to somebody and you land $1 million deal, right? You would take credit for that. You're like, look, I made the connection, I made the call, I got the deal done, right? But if this was like, I don't know, 60 years ago, you might say like, oh, it's not really me, it's because somebody invented the telephone. It's because they invented the ability for me to call somebody over in China and have a conversation over the phone, right? It's still you at the center who is doing it. So I don't want you to discredit yourself for the things you are creating, right? Because there are going to be certain people that when you put yourself into the center of this power that AI can create, you're going to come up with an amazing thing. So really, in essence, it was your idea. I want you guys to start taking credit for the things that are happening. People will be like, it's just a prompt. You didn't put in the effort. It's not this. It's not that. Well, guess what? We're living in a different era, and you by doing that, it is your concept. And actually, I think it's a really brilliant concept, Ed. Like having a heartbeat for a company, having a heartbeat for an entity, and even integrating it in such a way where your personal connections come into that center, and it helps you reflect on those different connections and puts it into these frameworks. Dude, there's something there that's pretty profound.
I guess I
For your own money. I just use
Okay, yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna fill in both gaps. So, what Ed is referring to, I created a framework a couple years ago. If you haven't been to the workshop, maybe you haven't seen it. But basically, it's how exposed is something we are doing to AI, and then how confident are we that AI can do it. It's just a little chart, okay? And so it seems that Ed, you were finding all the places that were not yet exposed to AI, and then you use the AI to increase the confidence to actually get that data, like the messages coming in, like your accountant information, like all the emails coming through, exposing it and building confidence that the AI can actually handle it. So dude, you implemented this framework better than anybody I've ever seen. So thank you for that. Now going back to what Josepha said. Okay. When it comes to exposing data to AI, we have to make sure it is consensual. Okay? We actually have a consensuality expert. Oh, she just left. Chloe. She's the best teacher of consent in the world. Okay, damn it. Okay. So basically, if you are going to expose, damn it, Chloe. Oh, this would have been such a great combo. Anyway, Chloe.
I'm here, I'm just in the background, sorry.
Consent. Okay. You have to be, and I want you to, maybe you can fill in some gaps here. And also as a business owner, Chloe also expert in consent and is an incredible entrepreneur. You just want to make sure you have consent for the data that you're using. And that can come in many different forms. So obviously in Ed's case, he is the company founder. He owns everything, right? And consent can be explicit, saying, yeah, I mean, Ed's case is a little bit easier because, yes, he explicitly owns everything. And it can be spoken consent, or it can be explicit consent, or it can be implicit consent. Like energetically, this feels okay to use, right? Ideally, we want explicit and legal consent in everything that we do, but there are going to be certain circumstances where, maybe there's some data that's coming in that might be okay to use, even if it's not explicitly consensual. Does that make sense? It's kind of comes down to what type of data it is and how this works. Chloe, I feel like I'm missing something here.
I think so.
It's okay. Chloe's not in channel mode. It's all right. This is a cool conversation, though. Yeah, this is dope. So yeah, Josepha, you can build this for your own personal life. You can build it for a lot of different things, even if you can't do it at the company level yet. This is also going to be the time to begin maybe edging into the company and begin getting them to adopt the AI, and maybe we can at some point implement it for the company, right? So yeah. All right, I'll pause there. Are there any other open questions, Joseph? I know you want to shut down Hertinger, so we can do that. Or before we go there, anybody else have anything that's top of mind? Any updates? Anything?
Actually do. Sorry, this is not what we were talking about.
So there is ways to do it. I am a very happy user of Mercury Bank. It's a very tech forward, very easy to use bank. So I can actually create an API key that can give read only access to my accounts for certain things. So I actually have done this. It really comes down to which bank it is and how fine tuned their abilities to read that data is. So it really depends on the bank. So I would go into plan mode with it and figure out the best way to pull that data. Danny, can you tell us more about what you want to do with that data? Yeah, so actually So you probably can do it with Claude. I would go into plan mode, put in the names of the banks, and figure out the best way. Also, not sponsored. I use Rocket Money. You guys have probably heard of it on a YouTube video. I really like Rocket Money. It connects to all of my banks. It's like $5 a month. Actually, I think it's like $3 a month, and I get like up to date emails and everything can connect into it. So you can totally build it yourself. Probably there's a specific tool for integrating bank statements that's called Plaid. Plaid. They have a lot. They are like the go-to when it comes to integrating bank APIs or ways to pull data. And so, one, if you're trying to get like an overview of all of your like your net worth, your different accounts, I would actually try the free trial for Rocket Money first. And if you want to build your own tool, you totally can, and it will probably be through something like Plaid. Claude Code can do that, but also like maybe there's a software out there that can help you out as well.
If anyone is on QuickBooks, I did a new QuickBooks, not the
On QuickBooks.
yeah. So
Yeah, QuickBooks is a great tool, but if you're just ingesting data, Danny, it's at the end of the day, it's just data. And so the design question is, how do I get the data in the best way? Maybe it is through a third-party tool setting it up that's already integrated. Maybe it's going through the banks directly. I would just plan it out with Claude, or maybe even you make a Rocket Money account, connect everything there, and you can pull the data from there. And now when it comes to what Ed's talking about, which is like sending payments programmatically, there's a couple of things. So one, Stripe is my payment processor. So I use Stripe for all of my payments. You guys have actually used it. You might not even know it, but for checkouts. And that is the most agentic friendly payment system in the world. It's built by developers for developers. They've been around forever. And so if you are looking to do automated payouts and things like that, Stripe is an incredible tool. Claude will find it. It's probably its preferred tool as well. But you might also want to start looking at, if you want to do more advanced things with your banking infrastructure, you have to be deliberate with what technologies you choose, right? So, for example, like I use like I'm not going to say the name of the bank because it's recorded, but like I use some banks here in Portugal that have been around for like 500 years. Their technology is terrible. There's nothing I can automate. And so this is the point in time where if you can only do things as much as how exposed that technology is to the AI, right? So if you're like a very old bank and you don't have up-to-date infrastructure, you're not going to be very exposed. But if you're using something like a bank like Revolut, for example, they have banking now, or N26 is another good option that's fully exposed. I actually don't know if it's fully exposed. I just assume it's more exposed than my banks. You can do more with the agents. So, everything you run into and everything you want to do, a lot of it comes down to how well can the software that we use integrate and do things on our behalf with it. And so, yeah, it's not a straight answer. But if you really want to do some advanced things with like sending payments, and doing stuff, you might have to actually look at what bank you are using and what technology they have available.
Thank you.
Yes. So Claude has a team plan. Actually, Chloe is on my team plan. So only the people that are on the team plan. I think the minimum number of seats is like 5 seats per month. So I actually have 2 Claude accounts personally. I have one that's my personal, that's on the Pro Max, so I pay $200 a month there. And then I have a team plan, and you get 5 seats. And you can control access to things much more granularly. Now, let me, okay. So, go ahead.
Putting contracts and stuff like this is fine.
If you have a team account, yes, because another thing about Claude Teams is that if you put a contract inside of the project knowledge for a project, people can prompt it to see what's in the file, but they actually are disabled from being able to download the file. Okay, so if you have a Claude team plan and you want to use it for your team, you have a lot more security features that you can activate. So yeah, if you are running a team and you want people to get up to speed on this, I recommend getting a team plan. Yeah, good question. Okay, so I am now going to shut down my Hertinger server with Josepha. So the other day we launched a server that had a Claude bot on it, and so I'm just going to go through the process right now of actually taking it down. And so when you set up Claude bot, there's a couple of different things that we did. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do, and this is actually worth learning. So remember, we talk a lot about API keys, right? Which is giving access to our tools and to our projects to do certain things. So the first thing I would do is go to... It's not? So if you look at my screen, if you look at my face screen, I have a hack. Okay? We're figuring it out together. Okay, so the first thing I would do is I would go to this URL, and if you look at my face screen, you can actually see I have all of these open API keys. You see how I have like Hostinger, OpenClaw, I have my Claude worker over here. So all you have to do, if you want to stop that API key from being used, is you click these 3 buttons over on this side, and then you can just click disable API key. And what that's going to do, it's going to stop the API key from being used anymore, okay? So I'm not going to disable mine, but if you ever create an API key, you can just go, and by the way, most API keys have this feature. You can just go to where you created it, and you can either disable it, and that basically means it's not going to be usable anymore by the software, or you can delete it. Does that make sense? Okay.
Do I have to do anything in Hostinger or not?
Yeah, let's do it together. How's that sound? So Hostinger is the thing that we use to set up our Claude bot. And hold on. Let me not share my screen for a second. Hold on. While I log in. I don't know if my my Claude bot tokens are going to be... There we go. Hold on. Let me just log in real quick. Okay. So Hostinger, yeah, I'm glad I didn't share my screen because that's not good. This is...
The 90 euro plan, is there any limit on tokens?
There is still a limit. The chances that you're going to bust through it are very low. You totally can if you are doing some really, really crazy stuff. But I use the $90 a month plan for a very long time, and I think it's very hard to go through it, is what I'll say. But with that said, if you run it all night, it might be a possibility that you bust through it, but it's very unlikely. It's not unlimited tokens, and in fact, there's no such thing as unlimited tokens. But it is quite a significant amount, is what I will say. Okay, so now I'm on Hostinger, and so if you want to disable it, all you need to do is go over here. Here, I'll zoom in for you. Oops, zoomed in too hard. Okay, all you're going to want to do is go over here to billing on the left side, then go to subscriptions, right? And all you're going to need to do is turn these off. Okay, so they make it super easy to disable, and all you need to do is like go over here and I'm actually going to leave mine running. I'm not going to. I'm going to leave mine running, but you can just disable them there. Or if you go over here, you can also, you just want to turn off auto renewal basically, and it should be good to go. And if you want to go even deeper with it, what you can do is go into your account, and then you can actually go into your billing, and then you can even delete your payment information if you want to. You can just remove it. And so if you remove the credit card, it makes it super easy to cancel things. Also, another pro tip on this stuff. So my bank, Mercury, I'm not going to open up the dashboard here, but it allows me to create what's known as temporary credit cards. And so anytime that I sign up for a new service for anything, I will go in there and I will make a new credit card. So I actually have one in Mercury. I'm not going to open it up, called Hostinger. And so what I'll do is I'll just make a credit card. You can also give it like a name. You can set a spending limit. And instead of me going to the service and actually turning it off, I'll just cancel the credit card, or I'll freeze the credit card. If you are somebody who doesn't use Mercury, by the way, my favorite tool, I'm sharing my screen. It's a service called privacy.com. I've used this for years. And what you can do is, I'm not going to log in and show you guys all my cards, but basically this allows you to create virtual cards. And so every time I sign up for a new service, because you guys know I'm testing stuff every single day, I will either go into Mercury and make a temporary credit card, or if it's for myself and not for my company, I'll go into privacy.com. You can create a free account, create a virtual card, and instead of turning off, having to go through the interface and like click around and do all this crazy stuff, you can actually just go to privacy.com and just literally freeze the card or turn it off. It's a very easy way to control spend when you guys are doing it. And we are experimenting with a lot of tools, and if you're ever curious about using another AI, I do recommend using virtual debit cards. Does that make sense? Yeah. So yeah, you can just spin it down, remove your information. In the future, if you're going to sign up for a new experimental tool, use privacy.com. It makes it super easy. I'm pretty sure it's free. They just want the data. I'm pretty sure. All right. I'll pause there. Any other questions? We have another couple minutes.
I still didn't understand. Isn't there a way via Hostinger or another service to allow you to run like a Mac Mini?
Yeah. So
still run from the same account that your Mac simultaneously and work?
yes. So Hostinger is the tool I would recommend. Ed, obviously you have an interest in going deeper with this OpenClaw stuff. Just so you know, it is more technical. There are security things that you have to go through to get this set up, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tag you inside of a message I sent to Discord. And this, in my opinion, is the best tool or the best walkthrough for getting OpenClaw set up on Hostinger, okay? So I'm going to tag you in it now. Or actually, let me, wait.
Just the Claude code to run when my Mac is closed, my personal Mac.
The thing is, you need to have, so there's kind of two options here. Okay, wait, zooming out. Basically, what we need is a computer that's always on to run the software. Okay? So the options are right now in front of you. You have your physical laptop. You can purchase, did Ed leave? I think he just went into the campus chat. Okay. So the options are in front of you. You can use your laptop, you can use another computer that you purchase, or you can purchase a virtual computer, which is what we did with Hostinger. Okay, so all three are viable options. Your own computer obviously comes with risks if you're going to set up OpenClaw there. A Mac Mini that's separate, it is way easier to keep on because it's physically sitting in your house. It's always running. Okay, so Ed, option A, laptop. Laptop. The second is a Mac Mini. And the third is just buying a $10 to $20 a month virtual computer. All three are viable options. Each, like a Mac Mini it is a very good option if you're going to go really deep on this. What you're going to want to do is buy it. You're just going to run Caffeinate, have it always on, right? And then you can have it running 24/7. It's about a, what is it, 400 to 600 euro option. Or you can use Hostinger for, I think it's like 10 to 20 bucks a month to host it separately. All three are viable.
The reason I'm afraid is because I'm a nomad.
True. Well, I mean, the same would go for a Mac Mini at home, right? If anybody finds.
Yeah, but maybe at home I can read, but my Mac is always with me.
True.
And I'm literally, it's ridiculous. I'm like, I keep it open. I can't even go to the bathroom with it closed.
Right. True. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, there's pros and cons to each approach. Given what you are doing, given the things you are working on, I would just invest in a Mac Mini if I were you.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, Mac Mini, some little screen. Go deep on this because, like, if you have a heartbeat for your company that's providing that much value already, I do recommend having a physical computer. The Mac Mini is a nice option because you can physically set it up. You have access to the computer. It's a familiar interface. There's a lot of advantages to it. And so if you're just setting up from scratch as well, you like. By the way, if you're going to set this up an OpenClaw on your Mac Mini, what I would recommend doing is don't log in don't migrate your data. Have it just be a fresh Mac Mini start, and then add the things that you want to piece by piece before you just take everything and throw it on there. Does that make sense? And that way it can build over time.
I was thinking of running Claude Cowork with the new feature and Claude Code separately, and only syncing them on the essential things that way.
Yeah. I mean, here's the truth of it, right? If you're gonna go this deep with it and you want to have an always on computer, buy a computer, keep it always on. And the other thing is, because I've done a lot of experimentation with this, once you set something up, play with it for a couple of days, and just every week over week make improvements over time. Don't try to do everything all at once. And because of the power of these agents, especially if you're going to have a physical computer, just add it piece by piece. It's almost like design, when you buy a new apartment, you move in, you don't know the flow of it yet, you don't know the vibe of it. It's better normally not to just go design everything and fill it up. You kind of want to learn the space, and so do it piece by piece. Okay, like it's a worthwhile project. Put it that way. Yeah. Cool. So we are at the top of the hour. Before I go, is there any other questions, comments, concerns? Great. Okay. So I just wanted to show you guys something real quick. We have launched a portal. Yay. So if you go to lightschool.com and you go, there's going to be a login button. If you log in with your email, I've generated you guys affiliate codes. And so I just want to let you know, if you have any friends that join the program, they get $100 off. And then we're also going to send you €100 as a thank you. And the same goes for if we're running Wednesday online workshops. So if they sign up with, by the way, your code will be unique to you. If they sign up with any of these codes and they end up joining Builders, we're going to send you €100. And I also just want to let you guys know, I'm going to be running a massive update to the portal. And inside of here, I'm going to create like micro lessons for all the things that we're covering on the calls. And if you open up here, you're like, oh my God, this is way too much stuff. I also put it in a search bar. So if you ever wanted to figure out like an agentic browser, you can search it and just find the lesson that's the most relevant to you. Again, I'm very open.
You also added from your GitHub to test what's set up and what's not. Is that complex?
On Light School?
Yeah, because you got a bunch of skills. You can run a script, like copy paste, or run a check via Claude which of these skills aren't set up.
Can you rephrase the question?
So you've got 25 skills in there.
So these aren't skills. These are more tutorials, but I am going to put in a skills section for sure. Yeah. So these aren't. I've been building out a skills library. I'm not going to launch it this weekend, but we are going to create like an entire library of all the different skills that are necessary to use. But right now, these are like more micro tutorials for everything that we are teaching. And this weekend, right now we have like 25 in-depth tutorials, but I'm going to probably add somewhere between another 10 and 15. And so the way that the flow is currently breaking down is I teach you guys live. And then within a week, we take that content and then we're going to chop it up and turn it into higher quality tutorials. And then we're going to put it into the portal. So everything will be in there. I'm probably also, by the way, I'm custom coding all this. I'll probably also blast you guys emails when something new is added. But yeah, I just want to kind of put those two things on your radar because they're kind of new. Okay. Anything else before we go? Everyone feeling good? Yeah. All right. Play with dispatch. Leave your computer open. Make sure nobody steals it. Okay. And I will see everybody next Tuesday, 4 p.m. Yeah. Yes. And I have to pee. So let me be back. But yeah, let's start at the end of it. Go ahead. Yeah.
You guys can have a question that I think some of us will face.
I just wanted to ask him because in the calendar it says next week at 5 p.m. and then Thursday 4 p.m. Or if it's now always at 4 p.m. I even thought today was 5 p.m. So I was just confused.
All right, hit me.
I faced something that is really annoying. So I did an experiment and learned the workflows of what. So I'll give you the two minutes of context.
Okay.
My task was more around I took over family business, right?
Okay. By the way, just so you know, this is recorded. Just so you're aware. Yeah. So just be mindful that it is live. It's recorded. Okay.
This isn't just the AI thing. It's more of a how do I think about it? Look, I've got 8 bookkeepers full-time, 3 bookkeepers part-time, and I just tested one, and I've been able to with almost 95% of the workflow replace them.
Well.
Right. So it's a human thing.
Wow.
And yeah, and now as like as an owner, I'm thinking like, how do I repurpose them, re-educate them, or do something, or handle that transition? And
Let me ask you some questions. What is so they're accountants?
yeah, bookkeepers. So out of 8, there's 3 accountants and 5 bookkeepers because there's a hotel, spa, and a restaurant business, and they're completely unnecessary.
Okay, and how have you had these conversations yet?
No, I just tested yesterday their entire workflows and used the framework, had it redo 1 day's worth of work, looked at the output, and I was fucking shocked.
Dude, that's okay. That's great. I need to. You have to come to Wheelhouse tomorrow so you can show me what the hell you're doing with my framework. I love it. I love that you're using it. I need to see it. Okay. So the question is, what do we do?
The question is, do I re-educate and look at the best platform that I can get? If I could hire someone to re-educate my people to work on things that could add value, because like I don't want to be a dick. I don't know how to handle the transition. Truth is, I can't handle the transformation of a company and pursue the goals and do the people anymore at the same time.
Okay, so let me ask you some questions. Are you hanging on to them because they're useful, or are you hanging on to them because you feel bad? What's the
Second is maturity, and B, trust and context isn't built overnight. And the more problems I solve, the more new use cases I identify. So maybe I can make them really useful, where there's still a really positive ROI on those people, on at least some of them. And at the very least, once I have these conversations and I genuinely share the truth and where we're going, and I can give them at least an option, like, hey, you take 2 weeks course, you learn X, Y, and Z, and then you can be offline, but you can be doing something different. And the truth is, it's a resource problem. I can't pursue the rest of my setup and the goals and retrain the people at the same time. And in all my companies, I'm alone.
okay?
Who's working with
How many entities and how many employees per?
So 120 full-time, 50 part-time, 4 entities.
Okay. And what percentage are we thinking about letting go?
I estimate within 30 days, like between 10 to 30%. 10% already confirmed. So at least 15 people I can let go 2 weeks from now, and for sure their task will be done.
Okay.
Like,
So this is, by the way, just remember this is recorded and streamed. So just be mindful.
yeah.
Okay.
All
All right. So here's what I would do. Okay. Normally when it comes to big layoffs, okay, my recommendation is when you do it, you normally want to cut too deeper than you think you need to, identify the gaps, and bring back the people that you need to bring back. Okay?
What do you mean by that?
So let's suppose I've been through a couple of these as an entrepreneur, as a CTO. Okay? So let's suppose we're like, okay, we need to do 10% layoff, but we want to impact people's families and things like that. Ooh, maybe I'll do 8%. You probably should be looking more at doing like a 20% cut, seeing what the gap is, and the people that, if the gap is wide enough and we really can't fill it with either new talent, either person, project, or now AI, right? Then you kind of identify the gaps and you bring the people back who kind of make sense. So normally, if you're going to be going through this, the recommendation is to cut deeper than you think you have to, and then bring back the people and see how wide the gap is.
And swallow my bullshit framework of trying to re-educate them and focus on solving them. That is inevitable. And just honor and respect what they've done on a human level, give good severance packages, and go from there. And then and then just bring about the rest of the team and say, hey, that's where we are, that's where we headed.
Okay.
And the line keep is difficult, but that's the approach we're taking.
So this is actually it's a passage from the Strategies of War by Robert Greene. And so I'm gonna use that as a metaphor for business. Okay. So when you are going through this sort of process, what you want to do is, if you're going to do a big cut, do it fully and completely. Okay. What you don't want to do is lay off 8 this week, 6 next week, because then it creates a sense of nervousness. What I would prefer to see happen, and what I see work much better energetically, do a big cut, have a meeting with everybody who's still there, and you tell them, hey, those are the layoffs for the time being. Everybody here, your jobs are safe. Okay? What you don't want to do is do it piece by piece. It's much better to do it all in one go and really inspire confidence in the people who are left after the cut, that their jobs are not in question. Okay?
That means I think the cuts for just the bookkeeping department first, but then just management also is under threat already.
I would come up with a cohesive plan.
Yeah, which I don't have. And what you're saying is build the architecture, test the systems better, do one round. Like, yeah, because like I like the build, measure, learn loop.
Yep.
It doesn't work in that context at all, because it's gonna bring fucking anxiety into the company, which I don't want.
Yeah. I mean,
What do I gotta gain? 2 weeks of extra 2 weeks of like pay salaries versus like anxiety for the rest of the team and uncertainty, and also my tools and processes aren't tested.
right. So again, going back to that thing, fully exposed, build the confidence, right? This is a different question. So I just gave you feedback on how I would approach layoffs. Okay.
Yeah.
I would do it all at once. It's going to suck. It's going to hurt for you. It's going to hurt for them. You do the cuts and you tell everybody who's safe, you are safe. And you say, now you guys are here. We're going to fill in this gap together and we're going to get this company running agentically. Okay. It's a call to action to fill in those gaps. Okay. If you need to bring people back, you bring them back. That's that part. Now, when it comes to the rollout of AI software, okay, within the entity itself, if you are operating at that level, okay, you want to build the confidence that these things can do, which you have a hunch that they can do. And the other thing is, this is all new, by the way, so I'm kind of spitballing here.
Yeah, and like nobody knows what they're doing, and I'm glad that you're able to like own it, and even like being an anchor and seeing from the other side with your experience. It's really relieving, because I'm starting to feel shitty, just about this in general, because there's a really
I mean,
there's a line there.
so one, dude, I would train up the team on all this stuff. Period.
What's the so if you were me, how would you do it? Would you hire somebody?
What's up? I'm in Portugal. O meu português não é muito bom, mas eu posso tratar.
That's the thing. My team is in Russia, mate.
They're Russian?
Yeah. So.
Oh, damn.
In the US and Russia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is I would. Okay, so here's the thing, right? There is going to be nuanced knowledge and processes for everything that we were touching with AI, for sure.
So what I would do is this. I already had an agreement with myself, and I thought through it. This is my 7th company now, and I took over, for context, that business because we had 3 inbound requests to franchise the hotel.
Right.
And the team already solid on the ground. The environment in Russia is quite different, but I can
Yeah.
bypass yes connection and still run code as an environment and make it an AI native organization. The thing I really want to prioritize in the sprint and stage of my career isn't the financial outcome, it's the learning. That's it. It's all I want to prioritize genuinely. And the way you do it is you surround yourself with people at the bleeding edge. And I think what I'd be open to is picking somebody like you or you to be a partner in crime on doing that use case. Hey, I took that hotel, spa, blah, blah, business. This is before, kind of Peter level style. This is after. This is 60 days done, or like 90 days sprint. Does that interest you at all?
Me personally? So yeah, I have made a deliberate decision in my life to be a teacher and a guide and a coach. It's a vocation. I don't consider myself a investor. I've worn every hat: software engineer, CTO, co-founder, investor. I am here to teach, and I am here to guide, and I want to be sort of the passage of empowerment through to people who want to apply and build incredible businesses in the world. So for me personally, dude, I'm here to teach. Anything that has to do with teaching, I'm here for you, right? If it's teaching a team, if it's empowering massive groups, call me. I'll show up. And if it comes to guiding you one-on-one, we can talk more about what that looks like. If it's going to be, but me providing services of building things, that's off the table. Yeah. But when it comes to coaching and guidance, bro, I'm here for you. I'm here for everybody.
So, how would you?
We'll talk more about it tomorrow. We'll talk more about it tomorrow in person. Yeah, because I know exactly the point that you're at, and I'm gonna go back to that. We'll talk more about structure tomorrow. But look, here's the truth of being an entrepreneur. All right, you are a representative and a steward of the entities that you are the founder and leader of. Okay, these things they're together and they're separate than you. Right? When you have an entity that's now been created, it has its own shape and form, and you acknowledge that there's some shift that needs to be made, we have to do so fully and completely. And it's not always going to feel good. It's going to suck. Okay? I've went through huge layoffs. I've had to let go of dozens and dozens of people who I personally hired in my companies I love, because that was a circumstance we find ourselves in. And so the stage that you're at, there's going to be suck involved. And I want you to know that I don't mind that you feel badly about it, but it's going to be sometimes we just have to take the next required action. And it's going to suck sometimes.
What I hear you is embrace it, go all the way. If you go all the way.
Yep.
Do it in one round. What I hear you say is do it at once.
Do one big cut. It's gonna suck.
And then really focus on people who stay, and then empower them. And that means I can't do that transition unless I empower them with that tool, and that isn't possible unless there's structured learning, which is prioritized first and foremost.
Exactly.
Right now, I'm just fixing the gap and replacing what I can. We're in a defense mode. We're like in architecture and audit mode. Audit, architecture, and then I want to go in defensive. And I think those require a completely different frame of thinking and the way you use these tools. And you can't do any one of them simultaneously. You've got to really complete the arc of each.
Well, it's interesting because there's two types of businesses, right? So you have, there's a lot of different frameworks, but this one I really like. It's from, I forgot the book. Damn it, forgot his name. Basically, you have foxes and you have hedgehogs. So foxes are businesses that move very quickly. I'm a fox, We're like, oh, you want a business training? Done. You want to do this? Done. Right? We move like, right? And then you have hedgehog businesses that are like, they're strong, they're slow, but they're hardened. You can't fuck with the hedgehog, right? It's interesting because the niche that you are in, which is hotels, spas, and these established businesses, they're more like hedgehogs. And now you're bringing in a lot of fox energy, right? Which isn't a bad thing. Innovation's at the core of everything that we're doing. So the question becomes like, how can we slice the hedgehog in the way that improves its empowered, like its grounded nature? Yeah, we got to do some surgery, bro. Sometimes you got to do spiritual surgery on the entity.
That's all. Mate, thanks for taking just a few minutes to break things down.
Dude, I get it, and like I won't go into it on the call, but there's a lot of like, dude, tapping. Like it's a great way to release energy. I know it seems really simple, but back in the hands, the face, the head. Like anytime you're running into these sort of things, like just like tap it out and like and just shake that shit off. I get where you're at, and it's going to be a combination of innovation, education, some very deliberate decisions, right? And also keeping yourself emotionally stable through the process.
Yeah.
This is what we call success. You are successful and it fucking sucks. Okay? And that is what you're currently experiencing. All right? You've successfully done this and it's going to suck. So, welcome you're already in it, bro, but we'll chat more about it tomorrow. Cheers, brother.
See you tomorrow.
See you then.
Bye.
Thanks again. Bye.
You.
All right. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you.